So we spent the last hour or two walking around a small fraction of Lammas Ecovillage. And in particularly
Tao and Wimbush's land.
And they have 7 acres, and there's land that ranges from 1 acre
up to 10.
Up to 10, I think. So not actually sure the entire space. And one of the interesting things that Tao said at the start was people like coming here so much, but there isn't capacity for them. So some people own properties or rent properties in local villages and come here
to be part of the community,
which is amazing.
Yeah, so the community's kind of spread beyond what it is here.
And really inspirational space, I would say.
Well, we bought the land in 2007. But in 2009, we got planning permission. And so we moved on here in 2009. Actually, our family, it was 2010, because I'd found the whole planning process extremely stressful. And yeah, because we'd been caught up in it for 3 years and gone through 2 applications and an appeal to the Welsh government.
Lammas Ecovillage is tucked away in Pembrokeshire, and if the grey skies and drizzle feel very on brand for a Welsh adventure, that's because they absolutely are. Lammas is one of the UK's most pioneering low-impact communities, a collection of eco-smallholdings working together around a permaculture approach to land and life, where human beings are considered part of the ecosystem, not separate from it. We've wanted to visit this place for a while, so we joined a small group tour, probably about 12 of us, all presumably here for similar reasons, wondering, imagining, quietly asking ourselves the same question: could we live like this? Our guide today is Tao Wimbush, co-founder of Lammas, and someone who has quite literally built the life we're here to learn about. He is warm, he is knowledgeable, and he answers questions without making anyone feel like they're asking a stupid question, which is lucky, because we had quite a few. From the community hub, we made our way up to Tao's own plot, passing some volunteer accommodation on the way, such as caravans or small huts. Next, we went to the orchard. There's a gaggle of geese that are very much in charge of this part of land. There are a variety of fruit trees, but my menopausal brain means I can't remember them all, but there are definitely lots of apple trees. Beyond the orchard is the permaculture garden, layers of planting managed with intention, designed to work with the land rather than against it.
Wow. I'm not cold anymore.
This is amazing.
This is Tao's polytunnel, and I've never seen a polytunnel like this. This is incredible.
It feels like a mini Eden project.
So, pond, which actually creates a little biodiversity in here because he's got toads, frogs, newts, all that kind of stuff, which deals with all the aphids, etc.
And slugs.
And like he's got, is it grapes?
Yes.
Growing above, squashes, lettuces, apricots, tomatoes, just amazing space. And this is a statue here of a lady laying down, but there's actually loads of crevices in it for bugs and animals and stuff to live in. It's really cleverly
And
done.
there's actually caves underneath it, and that's where the frogs and toads live in the daytime.
And this just shows to me how food growth and sustainability and biodiversity should all work together, and not in monocultural giant fields or greenhouses or whatever. This is the way it should be.
Yeah, and there's what people might ordinarily call weeds, but weeds are just plants in the wrong place, aren't they? But you know, it's just left to be as well. Often you'll see a polytunnel, and it's
pretty devoid of life. To be fair. This isn't.
Whatever wants to be here is kind of allowed to be here. Next was the sauna, and regular viewers will know that Lee has just finished building our sauna. Tao admits that he wishes he built there sooner because it's a real community asset. Lee nodded along knowingly. From the sauna, we moved to the pond, which is used for rainwater harvesting. One of the many ways that Lammas site manages water carefully, keeping as much of it in the landscape as possible. On a day like today, where it was raining, there was no shortage of water to harvest. Every cloud, literally.
It's a kite, isn't it?
Next stop was the impressive Lammas Earth Centre. This is an educational hub and workspace that sits at the heart of what Lammas is trying to share with the wider world, and they run regular classes and workshops from this space. It's really breathtaking when you're inside. In the barn there are goats who are very much unbothered by our presence and are simply getting on with the important business of being goats. They are used for manure and land management, which is either charming or very practical, depending on how you look at it. Probably both. Perhaps the most generous part of the whole visit was Tao invited us into his home. It's warm, it's lived in, it's full of the kind of character that only comes from building something with your own hands and filling it slowly with life. There's nothing here that doesn't have a reason, and somehow that makes it feel more human, not less. We stood in the kitchen and we felt something shift a little, knowing that this is possible. People are actually doing this. We finished the tour with a look at a new shed that's currently being built. Another thing taking shape. Another layer being added to something that's been growing steadily for over 15 years. Lammas isn't finished. It was never supposed to be. That's sort of the point.
So this is the store they have where people can come and buy stock. It smells amazing, but it's some amazing, truly organic, ethical foods and drinks in here, and other things, including laundry liquids, toilet rolls, and it's done on a trust basis. Amazing.
What I will say is we've only been here just under a couple of hours, isn't it? And so many learnings just in that short time. Like Tao runs courses and things, so I can imagine the depth of knowledge from the mistakes they've made. Tao said that at the beginning. He admitted,
and they're still making mistakes.
Yeah, but that is where the learning grows, isn't it? And just simple things, like where you put your compost and where you put your beds, and like how you manage the water on the land. And
yeah, and really obvious when he says it, actually, the logic. So I'll give you the compost example. A lot of people put the livestock at the bottom of the land, and then they've got to take the composted manure up to the top of the land to spread it. Whereas actually what he's done is put the livestock at the top of the land, they forage down lower land, bring it up, create the manure, and he all has to wheelbarrow it back down, which makes perfect sense.
Which is much easier, yes.
One thing Tao had to say, it's quite interesting, is obviously they've gone through 19 years almost of democracy and governance, and they've tried every variation going. What have they settled on now?
Well, firstly, in the beginning, when they set up for the One Planet development, they were required to provide this quite big document on governance, and they tried to follow that and do that. But, things are evolve and organic. And what he was highlighting is most people, because of the world we live in, come from a democracy, usually. And so if you're trying to put in other types of systems for governance, you're kind of going against what people know and their history and their background, and it can be quite hard to adjust. So it transpires that they've kind of gone full circle now, and they operate on like a compassionate democracy.
It feels that democracy is the option, but is also fairly voluntary. People kind of do what they want to do on site as long as it doesn't impact people or planet, I would say.
Yeah, meetings are optional, voluntary. Everyone gets a vote on things.
Whether you choose to go to the meeting is up to you.
Yeah. And people are free to... trusted. I think that's what I picked up. People are trusted to do the right thing on their land and with others.
And there was talk about sustainability, because obviously the One Planet development was about sustainability, but actually how nuanced that term can be and mean something very different to each person. So they've kind of allowed people to interpret that within reason, I think, of what sustainability means to them. That might be like building material choices, or what they do with their bit of land and what they use on it, etc.
Food choices. And I think ultimately in a situation like this, if you're choosing to live this way, you don't really need to be told about sustainability. And the people that are probably telling you about sustainability and governing it are living in a big house with goodness knows how many vehicles and jetting off all around the world. I think if you're living this close to the land and in touch with the land, I don't think you particularly are the people who need to be lectured about sustainability.
Yeah, I think your thought process is naturally going to drive towards what I would call sustainability, where you're not impacting the land negatively in the long term. I think Tao said, and it's a good example, that when he originally built some buildings, the carbon footprint of those buildings were quite key, whereas that's a little bit more relaxed now, but he's still mindful of the carbon footprint of the buildings. And often it's down to funding and money. So sometimes he's bought local redwood.
Yep.
And sometimes he's had to buy it from a timber merchant, it's probably come from Canada. But he's aware of that, if nothing else.
Yeah, and he's talked about he's had to make construct a building quickly for various personal reasons.
And just want to take a moment to listen to the bird song around us, because Tao said when he first moved here that this is pretty devoid of life, and actually the plot they chose was close to woodland because it's the only place they could hear bird life, and now it's just around us.
There's birds everywhere.
It's beautiful space.